Hey guys, before we get this party started, we got a new rendition of Quarantine Chronicles. They won't be every day this week, but they will be 2 or 3 times a week. Our first episode is with Chef Kelly Whitaker. He's joining us right after the announcement that Basta is going to go to specifically doing one carry-out day a week, as well as helping those on the front lines and the healthcare responders and things of that nature. So I was excited to sit down with a dear friend of mine. I hang out with Kelly a lot, so I love hanging out with him. I love chatting. And honestly, our conversations usually go off the rails and are long-winded, but we have a good time, and we hope you enjoy this episode too. Each episode is presented to you by Live Well Cannabis in Live Nation, Colorado. Live Well, obviously, locations around the state. They are open. You can order online or give them a call and then just do a quick pickup, so you can eliminate the face-to-face interactions and everything else like that. And then Live Nation, obviously there's no shows going on, but livenation.com has Live from Home. It's like a couch tour. You can catch a bunch of different concerts from Live Nation sponsored bands, things of that nature, all available at livenation.com. So go give them a whirl, go check it out, stay safe, wash your damn hands. Zane, hit the music. Let's go.
The suppression of the use of marijuana and of the forces lurking behind it are the most important jobs this department is now engaged in. In 1930, the records on marijuana in the Washington office of the Narcotics Division scarcely filled a small folder like this. Today, they fill cabinets.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, Coloradians and everyone that's smart enough to listen from the outside.
One of the most amazing plants we've ever discovered.
The pot party, the trippers, the grasshoppers, the hip ones, all gathered in secrecy and flying high as a kite.
Hello?
Hello, how are you?
Oh, man.
What's cracking?
I didn't know you were responsible enough to be a dog owner.
Dude, yeah, he's 10 years old. I'm surprised he's still alive, to be honest.
Yeah.
A lot of people are.
Yeah, I had a crazy dog for 14 years. I mean, even when I lived in Naples, was cooking and stuff. And he's a Malamute. And like, I never imagined that he would die of old age. Like, he got hit by 3 cars. I left him, I had to leave him with other families at points when I was overseas for a year. Like, and he loved to run. And you're just like, there's no way this dog would ever die from natural causes. Like,
Jerry's been very much the similar way. He got attacked when we were at one point growing up. And so we were very surprised that, at this age, I'm very, very surprised that, and he's resilient. He's proof that dogs can live in spite of their owners.
Mm-hmm.
So, it is what it is, but he's doing pretty well. What's called? So I saw you did you make the official announcement?
Yeah, I did. So yeah, all of that got sort of, announced, and these are things that, we work on at weeks at a time to think about. But, so as of yesterday or today, I guess is the first day.
Hold on. Before we do that, I guess we are recording this. By the way, y'all, we're sitting down with Chef Kelly Whitaker, James Beard Foundation semi-finalist, which we'll discuss that. Proprietor of 3 restaurants here in the Denver metro area: Basta, Wolfs Tailor, Bruto in the flea market, and then he has his company Dry Storage that produces and mills grains for his restaurants, as well as a multitude of others around town. But we're talking
some of the best bread around. Yeah,
definitely the dankest sourdough, which I think anyone that is anybody that knows our social media or knows this podcast knows that we fucking love that shit. So I'll give you the kudos to that. But yeah, so we're sitting here talking a little bit about the serious situation that is going on with the world today. And so we're kind of picking Kelly's brain, talking a little bit about what the plan going forward is for him and his team. So Kelly, thanks for joining us, brother.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, you say that now, but usually it'll probably get abrupt.
Oh, come on, dude. I like your show. I like what you do. It's always a pleasure to talk with you.
Well, cheers.
Oh,
brother.
Cheers. You already got the vino rolling. I didn't know, man. Oh, man.
I started at like 11 a.m. So, I'm good.
Sounds right.
Yeah, so I'm good and sauced by the time we got this interview going. But yeah. So where are you calling me from today? It looks like you have a nice little natural light. Are you at Bruto?
Yeah. So yeah, I'm down at Bruto right now. as we're in close down mode or temporary close down mode, I went around to the different restaurants. Today we're still doing some events. I mentioned in one of the posts that we're providing 100 meals today for frontline workers. It's really kind of cool because I saw Hosea doing it yesterday at Santo, Jose Rosenberg. And, it's kind of a fun pivot to watch right now because it makes a lot of sense that, these workers have limited budgets, but they do have a budget. And as we go around and try to continue to pivot to curbside and do all these different things, to do just one drop today for a set amount for people that would really appreciate it. And then on the same time, get a little bit of revenue going for the restaurants is like a win-win. So I know that they're organizing some ideas around Boulder. I talked to a great foundation out of Boulder called Love Boulder, and they work with a lot of the Boulder Valley School District families and kids, because right now they're like, well, how are the kids getting their food, and how are, so because the kids are out of school. So there's all these questions are coming up. And I think that we've always been one of those companies that are like, man, if we're going to do this, let's try to find the best reason to do this. And so although I hate like not being there today for all of our regular guests in a normal way, we're looking for those ways that maybe have a little more impact and are a little more needed and can go to, so that's kind of where our head's been at, before making this announcement, watching things ramp up here in Colorado over the next few weeks and watching, throughout the country, what's happening. It's like, I think the most important thing from us from day one has been having the option to go left or right as much as possible. Like, you can't control all this stuff, but if you can choose for yourself, there are certain things that you can choose for yourself. And I think we were, the first day that things started, even looking like they were going this way, we were like, man, I bet we're going to end up with curbside and delivery. So let's pivot our systems now. And my team is just like, I've just never seen our company work so well. That sounds crazy. Like, I couldn't get us in I couldn't get us in lanes before. It was like a lot of our positions as we, opened 2 or 3 projects in the last year and trying to understand that type of growth. Not all of us were in perfect lanes, but the second this started coming up, I watched our GM Taylor, she's just an absolute beast. She, the way that she's organized us, and Lee, who runs our experiences, is all of a sudden running different kinds of experiences, but still nonetheless, like, she was still very much. So we knew how critical it was for us all to find that lane quick, and watching them in order to be successful, that had to come together, and it did. And it was just crazy to watch them pivot and get so organized so fast. So yeah, by this, we were right on top of where we should be. And this weekend, in the past couple of weeks, we're watching this thing ramp up. And I was like, man, the second, and one thing that we've been really proud of, and also that I've wrestled with the whole time, is like, we just haven't laid off a single worker. That wasn't my first instinct at all. Like, my first instinct was like, take care of our people. And if you were going to get furloughed 3 weeks ago, that's a whole different conversation than getting furloughed now. Yes, it's difficult. Yes, it has its challenges. Yes, all those things are happening. But look, we were able to hold on to every single worker until we knew, like, we weren't letting you go and you were going to make $4 an hour, so that for me was very important. But the safety was important. So, we got to this point this week where we know that hopefully with things going on, there is some assistance, but we kind of got to that point where we're like, okay, business is okay. We've done everything we should to stabilize, make sure that people show up to work every day in a safe way. Now let's say if we have the option and they can stay home as much as possible, that's what we're going to do. And so that's the decision we made. We were like, you're staying home, and I really agree with that message right now. But, the first second I saw, and this again, I'll probably say some stupid things, but,
welcome to my podcast. We say stupid shit all the time.
But if I was like, I saw the first day I saw, like, first Danny Meyer out of New York with Union, and Then I saw David Chang fold, and he's like, this is not, it almost implied that everybody should be doing that. You want to watch our heroes of hospitality and be like, oh, Danny Meyer closed, so we need to close everything across the board. That because you know that he's the guru of hospitality, so you kind of want to follow in suit, right? That's your first like, oh, if he's doing it, we've got to do it. And but again, I wouldn't imply right now that Colorado restaurants should do what we're doing in any sort of way, right? I was upset because Chang came out and said, like I said, he implied that everyone should be doing what. That everybody should stay home, that everybody should do this. And it was irresponsible. And I was like, so for us today, our message has been super clear that we feel like we have our workers protected in a certain type of way. And I just wanted to stop for a second so that I can rethink about how I'm moving forward. And I just left a site that I'm super proud to say that, and I'll send you some shots later, but we just finished the painting of the new building for our grain elevator for our mill. We've sold so much heirloom flour right now, dude. It's like, that just came on so strong and unexpected, and I don't know, it wasn't the surge for like, I don't think a lot of
people. You weren't trying to become a grains dealer, so to speak.
Well, I was. I mean, dude, we were always working on this model, but for it to watch this explode and say, that this is, in a time like this is what people want. I think that's amazing. I have 100,000 pounds in silos in San Luis Valley. Our grain elevator space. So as I closed my doors today temporarily, I just walked over, and on, the 15th, my grain elevator opens. All my equipment will be in there, all of our stuff. And I have, we called our farmers in San Luis Valley, and I have like another, 12,000 pounds of organic, beautiful heirloom grain on the way to my facility. So as one door is closing, another one's opening today, which is weird, for us to think about timing and what type of opportunities can come out of this. But like I said in the beginning, if I have an opportunity to, maybe cook for some frontline workers over foodies, then maybe I'm going to do that right now. I don't want to alienate our guests, but people do find a lot of comfort in our food. I like to cook comfort food. So, I think that people have really appreciated the bread and the pizza and the things like that at Basta, dry storage. And, Wolfs has a level of comfort, and Bruto started pivoting to pizza, which, I have the Andrew Vansky, who, for those of you who don't know, I started car driver with a few people, and then I ended up walking away from that project 2 years in. A lot of people still think that I'm a part of it, but I'm not as of years ago. But when I started that project, I started with Andrew Vansky, who was an awesome chef who was run car driver for years. And, he left the company a while ago, and I had just started working with him at Bruto again. And then for opening Bruto, right before we were opening, I was like, man, I'm tired I don't really have the right fit of a chef. So I brought Josh Legrand down from Basta, and I was like,
love Josh.
I have these two guys that 5 years at Basta, putting out some of the best product, I think, for pizza in the state. And then I have Andrew Vansky, who just rolled with, cart and just did such a good job. And I have these two guys standing in front of a Stefano Ferrara pizza oven. And I'm like, you know what, Bruto? And I told them, I said, if, you two you would not get furloughed right now for any other reason other than not making the best pizza in Denver right now. Because if you don't, I'm placing you both on immediate leave, because they're just freaking ninjas of the game, down here and an unassuming location again. Just two guys like that who have had such a big impact on pizza in the state of Colorado, working together the past few weeks. So it's been, watching all this stuff has been crazy and overwhelming at times, but man, to hold, like I said, every single employee has been our proudest moment, and also safety so far. And then we just set up a fund, so plug in the fund a little bit. We're going to raise $50K. We're already at $3,000. We launched yesterday, so I think that's important. It's called Minding the Gap. I there's
another way, minding the gap. I think the Chive made it a little bit famous, but we'll leave that for now. We'll plug your gap instead.
Mm-hmm.
What are you sipping on? A little Topo?
Yeah, a little Topo Chico, but I'm going to switch to wine.